All right, everyone, this is going to be a review of the GoPlus cargo hitch carrier. I bought this specifically for the wife's mobility scooter to put on the back of our new car. Had this for about 2 months. I haven't put it together yet. Got it off of Amazon. Price was right around $200. I'll put it up here to let you know exactly what I paid for it a couple months ago. This says it's the AW10014. Now, I'll tell you that I seen a very similar looking one on YouTube that was from that Vetco, something like that, and I also seen one that was from Harbor Freight. So I'm going to imagine, or I'm going to think, that these are probably all made by the same Chinese company with different names on it. You know how they do things like that. Anyways, they come in the box. I'm not going to stand the box up. I'm getting ready to cut it open. But this is what it comes in. No markings other than what you can see. And shipping label on it. And that's about it. So it's not meant to be a comprehensive video. It's just meant to give you an idea of what to expect. If it's anything like the Harbor Freight one, the instructions are horrific, but we'll see when we get into it. So let me get things all set up, and we'll cut into this rascal, and I'll show you what it looks like, what it came packed up. Alrighty, so that is how it comes. So that looks like to be the ramp on top. Then it looks like we got a piece of cardboard separator here. The one that I seen, that I watched on YouTube from Harbor Freight, the bottom was all put together. I didn't think this was, but it is. It's all put together. Now I can tell you by when I'm looking here at this plate, see if you can see that. And on the back of it is some design, and that's the same design that I seen on the Harbor Freight. So I'm 99.9% sure that this is the same Chinese manufacturer that makes it for Harbor Freight. Now in here looks like a couple of probably El Cheapo straps. I won't be using those. Those are tension straps. I won't be using those. I want the ratchet kind. Those tend to come loose, especially if it's right near the tension capacity of those things, in my experience. Alrighty, so here they've got some foam. Get the foam rubber, foam packing. We'll set that aside. Inside here is a bag of hardware along with the pin, and that's good that come. I'll have all this set up on the table, and I'll go back through it. It got the hitch pin on it. Alrighty, they got this tied down. Let's take what's off the side. Open it up just to be sure, but it feels like it's just, yep, just spacing for packing. Nothing inside there. And I'm sure on this side here it's going to be the same thing. And it is. Nothing's in there. Alrighty. On these, I'm just going to cut. All right, so this is the spine that hooks into your hitch. Set that aside over here as well. On the table. I'm going to be putting everything together on the table, not on the ground. Too old to be getting down on the ground. Alrighty, and there's the main. And there's the main part of it. Alrighty. Well, with that, I'm going to shut off the video for a second. When I come back, I'll have everything up on the table for you to see. I've got everything up here on the table. And what you have here is you have the bottom. And this is the railing for the top. I'll be taking that apart in a minute. See, it's put together here by tape and some bubble wrap to protect the corner. You have the ramp. You have the spine for everything to attach to hook onto your car. Have a bag of goodies. We have the instructions. We have the plate that goes up front for you to show everybody that you bought it from Amazon off of via China, and a couple of straps. Inside the bag here, by the way, is some cotter pins, all the millions of bolts that you're going to need to put this together. Some eye clips to wrap the straps around, and your pin for your hitch. Looking at the instructions now, what I read, now this looks to be a few pages in length. What I read from YouTube on the Harbor Freight one, the instructions left a lot to be desired. This one talks about inside, outside. Inside and outside diameters. So I'll talk to you about that for a second here. So this is basically just a wheelchair and mobility scooter ramp is how they put it out. And the size of this on the outside, because that was very important to me that nobody talked about on the videos. Outside dimensions. The exterior is 29.5 wide, 29.5 inches wide. It's going to be 49 inches long, and it is going to be 8.5 inches high once you get this piece up and get the little metal slats up that brings it up. With the removable ramp, it is 27.75 wide at the ramp side. Now, very important, I think, if you're using this as a mobility scooter, you want to make sure that the open side, this side here, is towards the curb, because you don't want to be in the middle of the street trying to drop that ramp down and get your mobility scooter off, because if you do, someone is going to run over you. So put this side, the ramp, over so that when this ramp comes down, it will be coming down onto the sidewalk as you're parking. So as this is on my car, that would be my passenger side. So that would be on the passenger side. Almost all the videos I seen on YouTube, it was on the driver's side. Maybe they were from another country where they drive on the wrong side of the road. I don't know. So this holds up to 500 pounds capacity. And I believe it has a 300, you know what, I don't think they give the tongue weight on here. I'll be putting it on that black car. I've already put a hitch on that black car. That hitch has a 3,500 capacity, 3,500 pound capacity with, I believe, or 2,500 capacity with a, I believe, 375 down push on the tongue. So that should do okay now. So it's within the limits of the hitch. And we don't really, if I haul anything heavy, I should say, it would be my small trailer that I have. I did have, I don't know in the video if you can see it, but right to the right is a motorcycle. I have a Harley, and that weighs about 1,100 pounds. So if I wanted to, I could tow that car with that hitch. I do have a bigger trailer that I hauled on the wife's Escape. But we just bought this car. We're going to go on a trip with it in a few months, so we needed something else. All right, so the instructions here look a whole lot better than the instructions they showed me that was showing on the YouTube video for Harbor Freight. They give you a description of the parts, and then they give you a, and I don't know what they call the diagram, exploded diagram, where it shows you where all the things go. And that was about all. Let's put it here if you can see. This is about all Harbor Freight gave you. So hopefully you can see that. But in here, there's at least a couple other things. Let me find it here. It's a, you know, and it's, I don't know, it says it's 13 pages, 14, 17, 29 pages long. So we'll see. Of course, I'm a man. We don't do instructions too well. But we'll see how it goes. Alrighty. So I will speed this up. There's no sense in you listening to me talk. This will probably take about an hour to put together, and I can convert it down to a few minutes so you can see it. If you have any questions, send me a comment in the bottom. I'll answer it the best I can. I am no expert. I don't mean to go over every part of putting this together or putting it on the car. This is just to give you an idea of what's in the box and how easy or hard it was to put together. So let's get started. Yeah, I know. I'm using the wife's knife. Someone's going to comment you're dangerous with the knife. You betcha. And that's why there's nobody else here but me, and the wife doesn't allow me to use her knives. I stowed this out from under her nose. All right, let's get going. The first thing I'm going to do is get rid of the corners. All right, now you can't see it, but this has a little bit of damage here, but it's not bad. These come off without a knife. All right, first thing it says is set the main frame on a flat, secure work area to support the weight of the carrier. Use bolts 19 and nuts 20 to connect all supports 22, 23, and 24 to the bed of the frame. Alrighty, and there's everything we got. So the reason I'm showing you this now is because for me to do this, I am going to be moving all the parts over to the side. All right, with that, we'll get started. So if you remember what I told you, I wanted this side is where the ramp is going to go, and I want that on the passenger side so that when I pull up to a curb, it comes off. So the first thing they tell you to do is put on these, they call 19 bolts and 19 washers to put the 19, I guess that's their number, 19 bolts, the number, and number 20 bolts to connect supports 22, 23, and 24. Man, I'm not supposed to read directions. So this is more than just pretty. I guess this would be alrighty, so they want you to put on 22, so that would be 22, 22. And then they want you to put on part number 23, which is going to be the middle support brackets, which I believe that's what these are going to be. Like that. Well, I won't go there, but it'll go like there. And then 24. That's this guy here. Alrighty. Alrighty, after a little bit of consulting with China, yeah, I had to read the manual. All right, so these are two large plates. These guys in this manual is number 22. These are, what the heck did they call them? These are plate with reflector. And so you'll notice the difference. Remember I said that these had lines in it. These have lines in it. So I put those on the outside because what you can't see on this side is a sticker that says do not go over 60 miles an hour. Right. But these are going to go outside and they're going to go here because the reflector is going to go on there and it's going to go out just like that. Now, I did tighten these down. They say don't tighten the bolts down. So from here on out, I'm not going to tighten the bolts down. I'll probably have to loosen those up. I knew that. That's number one rule. Never tighten a bolt. Never tighten your bolts during install. So anyways, we're going to put these together. And I'll probably stop the video on my next stupidity. Large plates. We got the plates with the reflectors. And these are the plates with the reflectors. Small support plates. And then we got the middle support plates. The next step is, I better read these things. So put the U-brace on. Shoe. Probably going to speed it up at this point. No sense you watching me mess up. Alrighty, and as I said before, you don't need to see me do all the bolts. You get the idea. Alrighty, so one of the things I did know, maybe this will help you, so you don't have to do what I got to do. All the brackets, when you put them in, they're loose. So, of course, you want them inside the frame because that's where they're going to attach to. Unlike this one here. And I can't lift it up high enough. So on this one here, I can't lift it up high enough to get it back underneath that frame. So I'm going to have to take this one off. So at least for me on this one, it's only one. Take it off, put it on the inside. Put the bolt back on it. Okay, now they're all on the inside. So when I lean them back, they're going to lean back right into that slot. All right, so don't be like I did and leave them on the outside because and put a bunch of bolts around the edge because you're going to be fighting with it. So it's a Randy pro tip. Alrighty. Alrighty, as you see, I've got the railing on top. I've got all the bolts in, all the nuts in. I've double checked it off screen. And looks like I got everything okay. I did have one nut, one bolt extra. So, like I said, I did it all off screen. Took me about 45 minutes. And as I said before the video, I had shoulder replacement surgery. And so I'm real protective of this arm right now. Still in therapy for it, so I can do light stuff, but I don't want to do anything heavy by picking something up with this hand. But I can tell you by the time I got done putting in all these bolts, which I don't know how many there were, it says so how many in the thing, 46, something like that. My hand was tired. So now I'm going to tighten it up and we'll get everything up in the line. Now, one thing I mentioned in the beginning was on the big plates here. I told you I had tightened those up and that might have been a mistake. In this case, it was not. When I went to put the top bolts in, everything moved enough that I could get the bolts in. So that worked just fine. I'm going to start at one edge. One thing I'm going to say at this point, these boats are very soft. The boat's heads are very soft. So using a number 2 driver into them, and I got my torque set down low, sometimes it doesn't want to grab in the hole, and they're tending to strip just a little bit. So just be careful. Okay, there you go. The top part is on, sturdy. Now, as I was saying, the bolts tend to be soft. Now, the only problem that I had problems in the corners, and I'm going to show you why. On the front corner here, you see got this little lip. If you can see it, there's a little lip here. And right at the edge of that little lip is a rivet. And then that screw, the nut in the bolt, sitting right at the same level as that rivet. And you have the same thing back here on a rivet. And here on a rivet, and over there on a rivet. So almost every time in a corner, there's a rivet right where there should be a bolt, or right where there is a bolt coming out. So the rivet comes up like this, the bolt goes over here, and I'm using just just a handy dandy little edge for the screwdriver because it works fine in those things. But when you're trying to get it in there, it's going to go in there on an angle. So you're going to want to make sure. See, in this case, it was not tightened down. There you go. So just make sure that you've got it tightened down. Otherwise, somewhere, some line down the road, you're going to lose a bolt. I don't think it'd be catastrophic, but you could lose a bolt. So, alrighty. Well, now that we've got this all taken care of, it's time to put the what the heck do they call it? The hitch bar extension on it. So to do that, we need to flip this baby over. And now this will be towards the car. And now you can see that little sticker with the little on the outside there. All right. So alrighty. So there's 6 holes. 1, 2, 3, 4, 6 holes. Go from the bottom up. Of course, here's the bolt. Now this one, interesting. This one takes an Allen key to tighten it up. Up from the bottom. We'll get this rascal started. Alrighty. I'll get these all going. And we'll do this one here. There'll be a gist of what needs to be done. All right, when I get this all together and get ready to tighten it down, I'll be back. All righty, well, I got 5 of the 6 bolts in, and while I was doing it, I realized that the tip, as I said earlier, the tip is metric. I had to search my stuff to find a metric because they don't give you any tools. And a lot of the stuff you get from China, they'll put these things in there, but they don't. They don't on this one in it. Anyways, a little Allen wrench. Looks like it's about a size 4. And with that, we're going to put this one in here. Then we're going to tighten stuff up. Of course, these are going to go up so that the business end is inside and the bolts and that stuff are on the outside. Alrighty, so you see I got her standing up on the edge because I wasn't able to do this the way that I wanted. So stick it up on its edge and do it. Now, they don't give any torque specifications throughout this, so you just have to do what you have to do. Make sure they're snug. And then after you put it in service, or maybe after the first drive or two, just keep a 10 millimeter with you and a 10 millimeter socket with you, or wrench, and whoops, and a number 4 Allen wrench, where if you have to, you can set up on the side like I'm doing now, and you can tighten it back down. If it needs to be done, it may not need to be done, but I'm making sure I'm making sure that they're nice and tight, because my first trip is going to be about a 2,400 mile trip with this thing, and I don't want it to come undone. Alrighty, well, the next step is to put these basically tie down hooks, they call them, and goes on really simple. So there's 4 holes, one here, and on the other side there's one on the bottom, one on the top. I'm going to get these started. I'll get them all in first, and then we'll go to tightening them down. See, I laid it back down. I didn't like the way I had to turn my arm. As I said, I'm overprotective about my arm because I did have surgery. That's the wrong way. We need to go in from the bottom. We go up. So for me, this will be a little bit easier. You can leave it on its side or turn it upside down. That's up to you. I do believe these are 10 millimeters. They are. So now I'm going to put the ties so they're this way. I guess you could put them that way, but it'd take up some space inside. And I plan on putting a plastic tub in here to put the mobility scooter in, so that her mobility scooter comes apart, so that it's weatherproofed. So I'm just holding it here with my hand. Well, for this part, we have 4 pieces to start with. We have 2 bolts with lock washers. We have 2 pins, which will eventually take a cotter pin. All right. Well, let's see how easy this goes. So these are just up here. So on the outside, the bar here that you can see on the inside is flat. But on the inside, if you can see this, they're angled. So of course you want the greatest ability to go up without any restrictions. So you're going to want to put the smooth side inside. And of course with this, I don't know why there's no I don't know why they didn't give any, just looking over here, they did not give any washers. I don't know, but that's not what come with it, so we'll do it without it. Now, I'm going to stop right here and I'm going to try something. Again, because I don't have use of my right arm just yet, I'm going to try a different way of doing this. All right, well, let's see if this works. So basically what I did was I removed all my tools from here and I laid the ramp down so that I can see a little better where the holes are going to go. Oh yeah, going to make it a whole lot easier. I'm just going to put on the lock washer here. All right, and I just noticed something, that I tightened these down and they have actually gone in and have pressed down the aluminum, and in one case has actually ripped it. I'm not happy about that. I followed their instructions. So my suggestion to you, when you put these here in, you might want to stick a washer up on the top. I will probably do that. The other two look to be just fine, but the two bottom ones I really cranked down and they actually ripped the aluminum apart inside there. So I'm not liking that. It's not the end of the world because I can always wrap around the device itself or around the bed itself. But I don't like the fact that when I tightened it down, it ripped it. So with these here, it's 13 on each end. Now that I've got it in, I can get the other piece out, the other pin. All right, a little bit of adjustment there. And I see this side here is down as well. So I'm not liking that. I've got some washers around. I will be taking those off and putting some washers on there. I don't want in time for them to rip the aluminum any more than what it is. Not happy about that. And I'm not going to hunker down too much on that without a washers on those. Alrighty, just one little bitty update, and that is the pins that go inside. They're showing the pins going inside and the cotter pin on the inside of the step over here. So that's the way they show in the instructions. That's the way I'm going to put them. I've always put them on the outside. I guess you could put them on the outside if you want. Easier, a little bit easier to get to. Remember, this is going to be down low. This is going to be down about knee level. Alrighty, so we came back. Before I turned the video on, I went ahead and turned these guys off, or took these guys off. So basically, these are about the best I could find up there for what I needed. So these should work just fine. I'm going to go ahead and get that from the floor. The size on the receipt said 3/4. I don't know if they're 3/4, but I just happened to find one at the house that was this size. Perfect. This is fine. But they didn't have anything this size. So go ahead and put these on. And that should take care of the issue with it pushing in the aluminum. Okay, so I'm going to put this on first, push it in, and then on the other side, the original washer and the nut. Okay, so I bought galvanized, and I got it down there. It's bent that washer a little bit too, so I'm not going to go put it any tighter than that. I will probably end up taking these off. Looks like they're going to be more of a burden than a help, because I can always wrap the cable right around the body of the frame. So I'm going to leave these on for now, but more than likely either I'm not going to use them or I'm going to take them off. So of course you can do what you want to do. And I'm not honkering these down very tight. Now that one's okay. This one down here, there's a rivet in the way, and I think that's what's the problem with that one is. That one's down pretty good. It missed the rivet on that one. So those are done. So basically, it is assembled, and fairly lightweight. You got to be kidding me. I tell you, if it could happen, it'll happen to me. Alrighty, that's in. So looking at those 4 eye bolts, they're not going anywhere. I don't think you can see, but right here is the one that's up a little bit. The rivet is right in the way, and it should do good. Alrighty, so I've got it here. The question would be, can one person put this in? And the question would be, yes, they can. So I've already had it in once, at least up in there. So basically, you take this, pick it up, set it so it's right in the opening there. It's on a little bit of an angle. And then pick up this end and push it in. Now what you got to do, you got to make sure where the hole is. So now I got to make sure, and I'll be back, that the hole is going to be, I'm up pretty doggone close to the bumper. Alrighty, it looks like I got the hole pretty well lined up. I was afraid that it might be too short because, unlike my other cars, this hitch is recessed underneath the car quite a bit more. All right, there she is. All right, she's locked in place. Now, there is one other thing to get, as you notice, as I'm moving this here. It's wobbly. Now, that in itself probably isn't bad, but I don't think we'd want to be going down the road with it doing this all the time. And I didn't know about that beforehand. And there is a device that you can get that locks it in place. You lock everything up there together, and it locks the tongue to the receiver, and the hitch, the trailer part to the receiver, and you tighten it down with a bolt, and it stops that from rocking and rolling. It's about $50. I seen them on Amazon. So a little bit of adapting that I had to do. I hope that this helps you. Let me get myself out of the shade here, out of the sun. I hope this helps you on your decision to get one. So the question is, would I buy it again? Without testing it, no. I got it because it was aluminum, it was lightweight, and that it would probably be better if the elements got on it. We live up here in Michigan. Anything around there in the rain or the snow is probably more likely to corrode rather than rust. I find the aluminum too soft. I did notice when I put the tongue on there and I tightened it down, that when I tightened it down on the aluminum itself, it even bent some of the thicker aluminum on it. So I'm not real happy with the hardness of the aluminum. I'll update you when I get that part on it to tighten everything down. I hope it's been helpful. This was not meant to be a step-by-step procedure. It was kind of sort of let you see what it was like when I put it together. Hopefully, if you decide to buy that one, it works for you. Myself, I'm sure it will do just fine job. I'll be using it until it falls apart. And then should I need another one, I'll be getting a steel one. So with that, hope you enjoyed the video. Thanks for watching. Alrighty, so let me give you my first impressions. So I think the aluminum leaves a lot to be desired. It very soft, and I got a feeling that it says it can hold 500 pounds. If you got something heavy in there, I think the bumping of the road up and down is probably going to make some of that aluminum bend. Now, I bought the aluminum for two reasons. One, it's lightweight, and two, I live up in the north, where if I'm using it in the wintertime, I'm apt to get more rust. Of course, the aluminum does corrode after time. Price that I bought it off of Amazon. I would probably go with the steel one. It's just after putting this together, even the bolts from the hitch, I call it the backbone of it, that goes into the hitch itself where it attaches to the aluminum. I hunkered them down fairly decent, but not really tight. And the aluminum's still bent. I'm not happy, not over thrilled with that. As far as driving it, I did just take it out for just a quick drive. I still plan on getting a hitch lock for two reasons. One, it'll keep it steady in there. The second reason is somebody can't steal it. They'll have to get up underneath there and unscrew everything. Not sure if it comes with a lock or not, but we'll see when I buy one. But driving it up and down, very little noise. I couldn't tell it was there, but I could just barely hear a little rattling. Once I got some weight on it, maybe that will go away. I don't know. But certainly not any more rattling than I get from my ball and hitch from my trailer. The other problem that I can see with this is this car is a 2023 Sportage, Kia Sportage, and for my Canadian relatives, Sportage. It has rear sensors on the back, and as soon as I put it in reverse, taking it out for a drive, all my sensors in the back lit up and said, something's behind you. Of course, I can still drive. It's just warning you. And that's the only bad thing about it, being on the car. So we'll have to live with that, obviously. We'll only be using that rarely. Doubt very much that we will be using it on a continual basis. So I'll update you as time goes on. I hope this video has helped. Let you know some of the ups and the downs of just a regular everyday guy putting it together with a crippled up arm. Lightweight enough that I can put it on without anybody's help. If you've got any questions or comments, put them on down below. I'll answer what I can, and we'll go from there. Thanks for watching.